Good day, guys. Welcome to Faith's Flipped Classroom. My name is Favor Chisom Akabrogo, and today we'll be discussing a very important topic: sexually transmitted diseases, and we'll be looking at the human papilloma virus infection. So, before we start, what is sexually transmitted diseases? Sexually transmitted diseases are infections that are gotten through sexual contact, and they can be caused by a group of microorganisms, example bacteria, viruses, and parasites. So, what is human papilloma virus infection? Human papilloma virus infection is an infection caused by human papilloma virus that can be transmitted through sexual contact, where we have the vaginal sex, the oral sex, and the anal sex. And this infection is very common among sexually active persons. We have different strains of human papilloma virus. We have about 100 strains of human papilloma virus. But it's important to note that not all strains actually cause carcinoma. We have two divisions of the risk group or the strains. We have the low risk strains and we have the high risk strains among the 100. The low risk strains are HPV 6 and HPV 11. It's important to note that this strain of HPV actually cause genital wart, but they don't cause carcinoma, and they show the signs and symptoms the most. While the high risk strains, which are HPV 16, HPV 18, HPV 31, and HPV 33, they don't show any signs and symptoms and they cause carcinoma. So, what age group are actually implicated? HPV occurs in women the most than men, and it's because of our open system, because HPV can be found at the penile region of men, but then when it gets into the woman or the female reproductive tract, tada, it becomes infective. So the age group actually at risk is people from 13 years to 56 years. That's why it's actually important that people below 13 years or people below 26 years, that's from 13 years to 26 years, become vaccinated if they are not sexually active. So, what are the signs and symptoms of this HPV? As we said before, the low risk have signs and symptoms, which is the genital wart, we have the common wart, and even the plantar wart associated with it. Why for the high risk, there is no sign and symptom associated with it. So, someone can have a carcinoma of the cervix for 10 to 20 years building up without even knowing, except the person goes to the hospital for proper diagnosis. So, coming to the diagnosis of human papilloma virus, we have three basic diagnoses for HPV. Number one is the pap smear, also called cervical smear. This smear is collected from the cervical region, that's the squamocolumnar junction, the distance between the internal and external ostium. That's where it is collected. It's collected using a sterile iris spatula or brush. Why the DNA identification is also done to actually check the strains of HPV actually causing the disease, and also tissue biopsy is done